Most men lose power the moment they open their mouth. They think it's what they say that matters. The feelings, the honesty, the explanation. That mistake costs them respect before the conversation even begins. Because a prince is not revealed by his words, he is revealed by what he refuses to say. Some men can speak one sentence and create distance. Others can stay silent and create obsession. This is not charisma. This is not confidence. This is control. Today you're going to understand why romance is a trap, why emotion is the fastest way to lose leverage, and why the most powerful men sound almost indifferent. If you've ever felt that, the more you explain, the worse things get. This video will make that pain finally make sense. And once it does, you'll never speak the same way again. The illusion of romance. Why emotion is a weak strategy. Most men are taught the same story. That romance is about emotion. That sincerity creates attraction. That vulnerability builds connection. It sounds noble. It sounds human. And it quietly destroys leverage. Because attraction does not respond to emotion first. It responds to structure. Romance, as most men practice it, is reactive. They feel something, so they express it. They desire, so they pursue. They fear loss, so they explain. Every step is emotionally driven, and emotion is readable. The moment your feelings start dictating your behavior, you surrender the frame. A prince never does that, not because he lacks emotion, but because he understands timing. Emotion expressed without restraint signals urgency. Urgency signals need, and need collapses attraction. This is the illusion of romance. The belief that showing more creates more interest. In reality, it does the opposite. It shifts power outward. When you lead with emotion, you put the other person in the position of judge. They decide how much access you get, how much attention you receive, how much respect you're allowed. This is not intimacy. It's submission disguised as honesty. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this dynamic long before modern dating culture wrapped it in sentimentality. He observed that those who reveal their internal state too quickly invite manipulation, not because others are evil, but because power always flows toward the more composed party. The prince does not deny emotion, he contains it. He understands that emotion is strongest when it is implied, not displayed. Romantic tension is built in restraint, not confession. When a man rushes to express interest, he removes mystery. When he explains his intentions, he removes intrigue. When he seeks reassurance, he removes authority. This is why emotion-first strategies fail. They aim for closeness, but create imbalance. The other person feels desired, but not challenged, valued, but not anchored. Attraction does not grow in certainty. It grows in controlled ambiguity. The prince speaks from position, not impulse. He does not chase connection. He allows connection to orient toward him. This is why his words land differently. They are not attempts to impress. They are statements of direction, not emotional bids, but signals of stability. And stability is what emotion is drawn to. When you stop trying to feel your way into attraction and start structuring it instead, the entire dynamic shifts. Less effort, more gravity. Romance fails when emotion leads. Power begins when emotion obeys structure. Power is felt before it is heard. Power does not announce itself with words. It arrives before speech, before meaning is processed. The nervous system already decides. This is what most men never understand. They focus on what to say, while completely ignoring how they arrive. Tone, pace, and silence communicate authority, long before language does. A prince does not rush his words. Urgency signals need. Need signals weakness. Fast speech reveals anxiety. Over-explaining reveals insecurity. Constant talking reveals a fear of losing attention. And fear is always felt, even when it's hidden behind confidence. Power moves slower. When a man speaks with controlled pace, when his tone remains level regardless of reaction, he signals that nothing external is steering him. That steadiness is read instantly, not consciously, biologically. People mirror the emotional tempo of whoever holds the frame. If you rush, they relax. If you pause, they adjust. If you speak less, they listen more. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is pressure. Most men are uncomfortable with silence, so they fill it. They talk to reassure. They talk to clarify. They talk to avoid tension. But tension is where power forms. A prince lets silence do the work, because silence forces interpretation, and interpretation creates investment. The one who speaks less forces the other person to lean in mentally. This is why silence often feels dominant, even when nothing is said. Tone matters just as much. Emotional fluctuation, excitement, frustration, eagerness, signals that the interaction has leverage over you. A controlled tone communicates independence. It tells the other person, this interaction is optional, not necessary. And optional interactions are respected. Pace, too, reveals hierarchy. The person who slows the interaction controls it. When you pause before responding, when you are comfortable letting moments hang, you signal that you are not operating on reaction. Reaction is subordinate behavior. Command is calm. This does not mean coldness. It means restraint. A prince is present, but not reactive. Engaged, but not hurried. Interested, but not invested too early. This balance is felt immediately. It creates a subtle imbalance, where the other person begins adjusting themselves without knowing why. That adjustment is the first sign of influence. Words come later. Power is established first. Those who understand this never need to raise their voice or their value. The prince never explains himself. The fastest way a man loses authority is the moment he starts explaining himself. Explanation feels harmless, even polite, but psychologically, it signals submission. When you explain, you are accepting an invisible premise, that someone else has the right to judge your actions, your intentions, your decisions. That single concession collapses desire. Desire does not respond to logic. It responds to certainty. And explanation replaces certainty with negotiation. Most men explain because they fear being misunderstood. They want to be seen as reasonable, fair, emotionally aware. But attraction is not built on being understood. It is built on being grounded. A prince does not rush to clarify his position, because his position does not require approval. He understands a brutal truth. The one who explains is already on the defensive. Defensiveness is felt immediately. It tells the other person that your internal state is dependent on their interpretation, and dependency dissolves power. This is why over-communication kills intrigue. When you explain why you said something, why you acted a certain way, why you feel the way you feel, you remove tension. Tension is not conflict. Tension is polarity. And polarity is where desire lives. A prince lets actions speak and allows meaning to form on the other side. He does not rush to correct assumptions. He does not chase clarity, because clarity too early removes mystery, and mystery sustains attention. This does not mean being evasive. It means being selective. A prince answers when it strengthens his position, not when it soothes anxiety. He understands that silence after a question often carries more weight than the perfect response. Most men panic in that silence. They fill it with justification, with backstory, with emotional exposure. In doing so, they give away the frame. The prince holds it. He is comfortable letting others sit with their own interpretations, because interpretation creates engagement, and engagement creates investment. Explanation short-circuits that process. This is why emotionally disciplined men are often perceived as confident, even when they say very little. Their lack of explanation signals stability, and stability feels safe. When a man does not feel the need to constantly define himself, he appears already defined. That is attractive. Desire dies when everything is clarified. It grows when something is held back. This is not manipulation, it is restraint. And restraint is the language of power. If this reframes how you've been speaking until now, then pause for a moment. Subscribe to the channel if you're done explaining yourself to be accepted. And in the comments, write one line only: I don't explain. No context, no justification. Those who understand will understand. Distance as attraction. Attraction does not grow through closeness alone. It grows through controlled distance. Most men confuse availability with interest. They believe presence proves intent. They believe access builds connection. What it actually builds is familiarity, and familiarity erodes value. When someone knows they can reach you at any moment, when responses are immediate, when time is endlessly offered, your presence becomes predictable. Predictability dissolves intrigue. A prince understands that attraction is regulated, not by how much he gives, but by when he gives it. Distance is not absence, it is selectivity. It signals that access to you is earned, not assumed. This is where most men sabotage themselves. They respond too quickly. They explain availability. They adjust schedules instantly. In doing so, they communicate a quiet message: I am waiting. Waiting removes leverage. A prince never waits idly. His time is already occupied by purpose, direction, and self-command. This creates natural spacing, not manufactured scarcity, not manipulation. Structural distance. Distance that exists because his life is already full. This fullness is felt immediately. When access is not guaranteed, each interaction carries weight. Moments are noticed. Words land harder. Presence feels intentional. Availability dulls perception. Distance sharpens it. This is why controlled access increases attraction, not because it frustrates, but because it restores contrast. Contrast between connection and absence, between engagement and withdrawal. The nervous system responds to contrast. Without it, desire flattens. A prince also understands timing. He does not enter conversations impulsively. He does not fill every silence. He does not chase continuity. He allows gaps. Those gaps create reflection, and reflection builds attachment. This is not about playing games. It is about not collapsing space prematurely. Premature closeness feels invasive. Measured distance feels secure. Security attracts. When a man is always present, his presence loses meaning. When he arrives deliberately, his presence becomes felt. Distance also protects frame. It prevents emotional overexposure. It prevents reactive behavior. It prevents need from leaking through availability. This is why attraction increases when access is controlled. Not because people want what they can't have, but because they respect what is not desperate to be chosen. Distance is not rejection. It is structure. And structure sustains attraction long after emotion fades. Availability chases attention. Controlled access commands it. Command without demand. The highest form of control is never loud. It does not argue. It does not insist. It assumes. This is where most men fail. They believe leadership means asking. They believe direction requires permission. They believe influence comes from convincing. In reality, asking places you below the frame. A prince does not demand compliance, because demands expose need. Need collapses authority. Instead, he leads through assumption. He speaks as if the direction is already understood, as if the decision has already been made, as if resistance was never part of the equation. This subtle shift changes everything. Compare the difference: do you want to do this? Versus, we'll do this. One seeks approval. The other establishes reality. The prince never forces. He sets the frame and lets others step into it. This is why his leadership feels natural, not aggressive. People resist pressure. They relax into certainty. When you demand, you invite opposition. When you assume, you create momentum. Most men over-communicate intention. They explain what they want. They negotiate direction. In doing so, they reveal uncertainty. A prince does the opposite. He reduces words. He removes negotiation. He lets tone and timing carry authority. This does not mean being inflexible. It means being grounded. Grounded people do not need to convince. Their certainty does the convincing for them. Leading the frame subtly also means not reacting when tested. Tests are inevitable. A change in plans, a challenge to direction, a moment of resistance. Most men respond emotionally. They argue, they justify, they defend. A prince adjusts calmly. He does not escalate. He does not retreat. He maintains direction without emotional attachment. This emotional neutrality is interpreted as strength, because strength is not intensity, it is stability. When a man leads without demanding, people follow without feeling controlled. They feel safe inside the frame because it is consistent. Consistency is leadership. This is why true command feels quiet. There is no struggle, no persuasion, no emotional bargaining, only clarity. The prince understands that authority is not proven through pressure, but through coherence. His words, timing, and behavior align. That alignment is felt, and once felt, it rarely needs reinforcement. Those who lead loudly fight to be followed. Those who lead subtly are already ahead. Emotional detachment, not coldness. There is a common misunderstanding about emotional control. Most people confuse detachment with coldness. They think restraint means cruelty. They assume distance means a lack of care. That assumption is wrong. Coldness repels. Control reassures. A prince is not emotionally absent. He is emotionally regulated. And regulation is what creates safety. Human beings are not drawn to emotional extremes. They are drawn to stability. Unpredictable emotion creates anxiety. Overexpression creates pressure. Inconsistency creates doubt. Control does the opposite. When a man's emotional state does not fluctuate wildly, when his reactions are measured, when his presence feels steady regardless of circumstance, he becomes a psychological anchor. That anchor is attractive, not because it excites, but because it contains. Most men let their emotions lead the interaction. If they feel challenged, they react. If they feel ignored, they pursue. If they feel insecure, they overcompensate. This volatility is felt immediately. It communicates one thing clearly: their internal state is externally controlled, and anything externally controlled cannot feel safe. A prince understands that emotional detachment is not about suppressing feeling. It is about delaying expression until it serves a purpose. He feels anger but does not leak it. He feels interest but does not chase. He feels disappointment but does not punish emotionally. This restraint creates clarity. Others never have to guess where they stand. Because his behavior is consistent, consistency builds trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. This is why emotional control feels calming. It removes drama. It removes unpredictability. It removes the silent pressure of managing someone else's reactions. A prince does not require emotional caretaking. He does not need reassurance. He does not need constant affirmation. That self-sufficiency lowers tension, and lowered tension allows attraction to settle instead of spike and crash. Coldness pushes people away. Control invites them closer. Because control signals maturity. It tells the other person, nothing here is impulsive. Nothing here is reactive. Nothing here is unstable. That message is felt, not spoken. Emotional detachment also protects authority. When you do not react immediately, you keep the frame. When you do not punish emotionally, you maintain dignity. When you do not reward inconsistency, you establish standards. Standards are attractive because they imply self-respect. This is the distinction most men miss. They think emotion creates connection. In reality, regulated emotion creates security, and security sustains attraction long after novelty fades. Control does not make you distant. It makes you dependable. If this disturbed you, that's not an accident. It means something inside you recognized the pattern, the hierarchy. The unspoken rules you were never taught, but always punished for breaking. Most people will hear this and immediately reject it. They'll say it's too cold, too extreme, too calculated. And then they'll go back to doing what they've always done, explaining themselves, chasing approval, confusing emotion with power. Nothing will change for them, but you didn't turn this off. Which means you're starting to see what most people spend their lives avoiding. Respect is not asked for, attraction is not negotiated, and power is never emotional. It is structural. A prince is not cruel. He is controlled. He does not dominate with volume. He dominates with certainty. He does not seek validation. He becomes the standard. And once you understand this, you can't unsee it. You'll hear desperation in voices that used to impress you. You'll notice who speaks too much, who explains too fast, who gives access too freely. You'll feel the difference between noise and presence. This is where the separation begins. Not everyone can walk this path. Not everyone should, because power demands discipline, and discipline demands sacrifice. If you're ready to stop playing the emotional game and start moving with intent, then you already know what to do. The next step is yours.